What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another Fortnight on the Isle, where once again feels like the last couple weeks were just about a week. But I have a 4-day weekend this week, so I've gotten a lot of personal stuff done, cleaning, chores, organizing. That some of it I've been pushing off for frankly way too long, and still have time to do stuff for the channel. That always feels good. And then I still have one more project that I'm actually going to work on while this video renders, probably rearranging my bookshelves over here, which haven't gotten taken care of in the months that I've been in this recording spot. But otherwise, I'm feeling pretty good about myself and about what has been going on the channel and about, my reading. So let's go ahead and talk about the bi-weekly reading. Just as always, I did continue the Silmarillion, obviously, just like I continue to do, but I think starting in the next Fortnight on the Isle and thereafter, I'm going to stop including this in the Fortnight on the Isle, because including it, in every single one of these, just saying like, oh, I read another chapter or two this week, this gets kind of repetitive, so I'm just going to relegate them to, belonging in the monthly reading wrap-ups here on and out, basically. But since I am holding it right now, I will mention I did get a couple more chapters read, and one of those was very good, and one of those was very short, 1 page long, and I did not understand a thing. But yeah, still making my way slowly through this. I basically pick it up on Mondays when I can, and when I don't have other priorities. That's how that's going. Otherwise, this was a pretty self-contained fortnight for once. Everything else that I read over the last 2 weeks was this, The Dragon Reborn by Robert Jordan. I'm very nearly done. I'm about 76% of the way through, so basically 3/4 of the way through as of this recording. There's the very small potential that I'll be done with this by the time this video goes up, but it will probably be 1 or 2 days after the video goes up, which means there will actually be something a little bit different with my video scheduling than I was initially anticipating. We'll get to that here in a few minutes. The only other reading project that I have going on right now is that I am currently still waiting for a copy of something else to get to me so that I can read that. Basically, I'm anticipating it'll probably get to me right around the time that I finish this, if not right before I finish it. And at that point, that will be what I focus on, read immediately thereafter until I am done with it. I'll probably have a very tight schedule on that project. Hopefully more on that in the next update. But let's go ahead and continue very quickly, because yeah, I haven't done a whole lot of detailed reading the last couple weeks, into the bi-weekly writing, in which there isn't a whole lot new to say beyond what I added at the very end of last time. I did get started on my revisions for the Silent Rain trilogy outlines. I have been building stuff along with actually starting some of the revisions, so the revisions that I have done haven't been super extensive. I believe I've gotten through part 1 of Silent Rain of the first book, adding about 1,000 words to that outline. Not much else to say besides, because part of the revision process has been me finally going back and being like, okay, well, I need character sheets, location sheets, all of this other stuff. Let me clear my throat. And beyond just the general fixing and editing of the pieces of the story, there's the revision sheets that I got made, taking notes of the dates of when things occur, which I can fudge a little bit and finalize a little bit later, especially since some of those things are undoubtedly going to change with the timing of stuff in the next couple series. So none of it is fully set in stone at this point yet, just kind of taking approximate estimates so that I can have that, mostly so that I'm not retconning stuff to be like, oh wait, that thing that I said happened on that date in that series doesn't actually happen on that date, because it doesn't make sense for it to happen on that date based off what happens in this series. I don't want any of that going on in the future, so I'm taking notes of that early, and then, like I said, character location sheets, stuff like that, to make into references for the future, as well as generally fixing stuff. So I did get 1,000 words edited to Silent Rain so far through part 1, but I have a lot of work yet to do on that. I definitely won't finish this set of revisions by the end of September like I was hoping at first, and part of that is because I've been reading a ton and basically haven't been working on the writing, but it's nice to take a short break now and again, and because I've been building some of those other sheets for revision and stuff. So maybe by the end of October, we'll see. I hope to at least, I would like to have this full trilogy and the next full trilogy completely done by the end of the year, but that's most likely not going to happen, especially not with revisions for the next trilogy, but that's still stuff for the future. Let's move on to the coming releases, which I did just, hint at being a little bit different than I was anticipating. On the 19th, this Tuesday, my Author Talks video with Christopher Rocchio, episode 106 of the Book Bench, will be coming out. That was a 2.5-hour discussion, or I think it was 2.5 hours that we talked. I don't remember if the video is actually that long. It might be closer to 2 hours than a 2.5. I don't remember for sure, but it was a quite lengthy video, so I hope that everybody decides to check that out, especially people who have read anything related to Sun Eater. My favorite series has my favorite book, so it was a great time being able to chat with Christopher. On Thursday, on the 21st, will be Wheel of Time Diary number 12, and as long as I finish this book by the end of Wednesday this week, even though I think that by the time this video comes out, tomorrow or so is when I'll probably be finished with it, that is what that last diary will be encompassing, which will change things for next Thursday, for Wheel of Time Diary 13, because originally I was anticipating this book to take 4 diaries, but because I've been plowing through it, I think it'll only take 3, which means that next Thursday on the 28th will probably just be a spoiler plus spoiler-free discussion of the first 3 books in the series to make up for the fact that I don't already have something planned for next Thursday besides the diary. So that's what that's looking like. Next Tuesday, though, on the 26th, before whatever happens next Thursday, will be a review of the full trilogy Another Kingdom by Andrew Klavan. I did have an enjoyable time recording that video and talking about that trilogy. I think it's one that will sit fondly in my heart for a long time, despite, not being like the best thing in the entire world. The second book in particular, I don't remember much of at all, regardless of whether it's fondly or not. But the third book I just loved so much. And the fact that I got through that trilogy as like my first audio book experience, essentially, besides, parents reading to me when I was younger, that trilogy will always just kind of like stick in my brain for that reason. So I did have a fun time finally reviewing that trilogy. That will come out next Tuesday. On the second channel, last week on the 11th, on Monday the 11th, I did do an album review of Fatalism by Polaris. That was a relatively short video, but one that I wanted to make regardless, especially since it's in the running for album of the year for me for sure. Tomorrow, and if not tomorrow, maybe next Monday. It depends on if I can get the video edited this weekend. I most likely will, since I have a 4-day weekend and have had plenty of time. So it'll probably be tomorrow, but if not, it will be next Monday on the 25th. My album review of Blackout by From Ashes to New comes out. So a few music blogs over the last few weeks after, a month or two of not really having anything on the channel in that regards. But then over the next couple Fridays on the 22nd and on the 29th will be my first couple of Uncharted backlog videos. So my Let's Play that I did of Uncharted 1 Drake's Fortune, I believe there was only 6 of those videos. There might have only been 5. So the first couple of those will be coming out over the next month. So exciting to finally, be posting something on the second channel that isn't Kingdom Hearts 1 in the backlog. But, if you want to check it out, you can. I think that Let's Play might be better than the Kingdom Hearts one. But that's probably just me. I'm not entirely sure. You can check it out if you want. Otherwise, don't bother. In terms of entertainment talk, before we go, this is a pretty short video, so I want to keep it, pretty short anyway. I did mention last time that I was basically right up on the verge of having 100%ed Kena Bridge of Spirits. I did finish that, and also discovered a bug that allowed me to get the platinum of the game without actually playing the game on the hardest difficulty. So I feel a little bit dirty for doing that, but it was funny to see that actually happened. So yeah, I mean, maybe someday I'll play the game on the hardest difficulty anyway, so that, I can justify having gotten the platinum without doing it, but for now, I'm satisfied that I got the 100% of the game, although I didn't, 100% New Game Plus, because, there's some additional hats and charms that you can get that are New Game Plus exclusive. I didn't want to bother doing a full another playthrough, so I just kind of stopped there. Yeah, that's what happened. But then there was a couple other things that I played. I did start The Ascent recently enough. I thought it would be a 15 to 20 hour game, even for the way that I play games, which is very slowly and thoroughly. I'm like 50% of the way through the game, and I've already spent around that much time in the game already. So yeah, just my luck that it'll probably end up being 40 to 50 hours when I was anticipating a 15 to 20 hour game. So that's all fun. But in terms of Remnant 2, which has been kind of like my steady game for past couple months since it came out. Josh and I have nearly completed our first run of the game. We are right up on the last world. Like, we finished recording yesterday, and yeah, next time we play, we are getting in the last world, and we'll probably be able to play for long enough to finish the game the first time. And then we still have yet to decide what we're going to do from there, whether we're going to roll some adventure mode stuff to continue leveling, try to find some specific items for the builds that we're going for, or just whatever we might do. Might just do an adventure mode roll in each world just for the heck of it. Like I said, to finish leveling so that we can go into the next difficulty together and maybe not die quite as easy, but we'll kind of see what happens there. And speaking of next difficulty in that game, I also finished my solo player run of Remnant 2 as well and re-rolled the world on the next difficulty, and bosses do a heck of a lot more damage, man. The mobs, the scaling of the difficulty doesn't seem like it changed too much, but yeah, the bosses definitely do a lot more damage, so I'm having to be a lot more careful in my solo player run so far. So yeah, that's fun, that's cool, it's all well and good. I'm probably going to be playing that game for a very long time, and I'll probably only notify you in this section, when something relatively exciting in that regard comes of it, because I don't need to mention it every single time. But yeah, that is all I have to say in this video. It was a fairly quick one, not a whole lot to talk about this fortnight. Maybe there will be a bit more to talk about next fortnight, but we never know. The fact that we are just about in October is really crazy, because I've only been doing these fortnights on the Isle since the beginning of this year. The very first, basically, I think it was the second Sunday of January was when I started doing these. So yeah, it's been a wild ride this year. I'm kind of surprised that they've done as well as they have. So thank you to the people who watch them. Thank you to who has gotten to this point in the video. I appreciate you a lot. I'll be back on Tuesday with, what video did I say was coming out Tuesday? Oh yeah, my discussion with Christopher Rocchio. So I hope you're excited for that and that you will check it out. I'll be back then.